Awesome. Okay, well, great, great, great. I know we'll have others joining us. Fantastic. Nice to see you all here. Yusuf Florence from Lagos, great. Mike, you're welcome. Lucy, Karan, you're welcome. Mike, I know you're an expert on all of this already. You had your own session the other day, so if you want to be promoted to panelist, let me know, okay? All right, so we are going to get started right away. We are live on Facebook, which means the session is being recorded. I'm also going to record it on the cloud. Okay, fantastic. So thanks everyone for joining us. You know, we have been working, our corporate team has been working diligently on a new back office for us. And it's going to be amazing because we're going to have so many things that we've never had before. And the best part is that right now, what's been happening with our old back office is that it doesn't belong to Max, okay? Max has licensed it out to a third-party provider. And what that means is that when there are things that are not going well or something that needs to be fixed, or we would really love to have this kind of a report, it's really difficult to get that done because we don't own the software. And so Max has been working on creating a new interface for us where our team will be managing and owning the software. And so if we as a group say, wow, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could have this kind of a report, for example, a prime bonus report that we've all wanted for so long, our team at the corporate office will now be able to say, yes, we can do that. And that is a beautiful thing. So they've been working very, very hard. We have the corporate team with us today. And what we're going to do is go through some of the features and how to navigate around in your back office so that you can all get educated, because our old back office will be going away. Now, it's not going away today, although it was supposed to go away this month. So we've managed to grab a few more weeks, but it's very, very important that we get really comfortable with the new back office, that if there's anything that's absolutely not working, and there are a few things that are still coming, so we'll share more about those. But if there's anything that's you know, you find something is just not working, you need to flag it, because there will come a time in the not too distant future that we won't have our old back office to go back on. Okay, that company is actually migrating out of the back office that we're using, and so they can't support us any longer. And it's something that we have to do together, okay, as a team. So I'm so happy that we have some amazing people with us today, much smarter than I am, incredible people who have been working so hard on this. So I want to introduce them. I want to introduce Nikki Eastman. She is an amazing lady. She's so responsive, so wonderful to work with, and she's heading up our IT and development team, getting our new back office ready for us. So thank you, Nikki. Thanks for being here today. You can say hello to everyone.
Of course. Thanks for asking us to be on. We're super excited to show you your entire brand new. I know it's been called enhanced sometimes, but it is not enhanced. It is brand new, completely new code that's owned by us. And you know, it is, like Anne said, it's going to be so important to get in. You know, when it comes to trying to acquire a taste for new things, there are a few things that are going to be as worthwhile as acquiring an appreciation for this new VO. And while we're just launching it, you know, brand new, you know, we hope you don't judge us. This is a real team and a real development in progress for you. The first while, we'll say, and the first little while, we kind of had to develop in the dark. We kind of had to get the foundation built, and we kind of had to get, you know, as close to the required behavior of the old VO as we could. But then as soon as we were in a position to start thinking about, you know, putting the features on top, we became very transparent. We became very responsive and communicative with the field and field leaders. So, you know, we're working more as a team, which means that your input is going to be more quickly and directly implemented until, you know, we have a system that you're in love with, and then we'll keep improving it as well.
Okay, I think we might have just, why, if you can hear me, it might be back.
Oh no, how long have I been gone? I've been babbling on.
I heard you both the whole time, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Oh no. I saw a little glitchiness too, and now you're not moving, Anne. Oh no, we lost Miss Anne. There have been a lot of names in our inbox in terms of our feedback email directory, that our email address that we use, vofeedback@max.com. Few have been as prominent as Anne's and Mike LeBrun's, and that's the testament to where the features and the ideas and the push and the priority of these features are coming from. They're being directly driven. The priorities and the importance and the features themselves has been being directly driven by you, the field leaders. One thing that I did want to point out is one of the biggest issues that we're dealing with right now is the latency issues. So there are things about the site that are slow. That this is a brand new code base, we haven't figured out the optimization that works best for these reports. So we have people looking at improving and optimizing the hardware. We have people looking at improving and optimizing the database communication, so connectivity and the SQL statements that we're running. If you're digging data out of a large data set, it really matters how you structure that. And then caching and the ability and the options that we have for improving speed on the UI side, so JavaScript, if you're familiar with that, PHP, these kinds of things. So I have to apologize for that, but at the same time, these are growing pains. So once we have the behavior in and functioning properly, then we'll make it fast, and then we'll make it compatible across all browsers. So we have to take the steps as they come. I really believe, though, that you can still build your business. I think that it might be a little bit, tough in the beginning because we are still working out kinks and you're going through a learning curve. But I know that this is a product that you'll be able to sell. So the people that you're trying to enroll and your new associates and the people that you're trying to, bring up from new, they're not going to see the degree of slowness that you all see. You all have huge organizations, and so at the very least, at least we'll be grateful that no one else sees it except us that's been around a while, and we're all working together to fix it anyway. So that's one thing that I hear, and it drives all of us crazy, and we're working on, and that's kind of the process that we're going to have to go through to get those things faster. So I apologize for that before anybody brings it up.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nikki. Now, this is a call for everyone. All right. So I know that some of us have large organizations and some of us don't, but I think really you can see that Nikki really knows her stuff, which is awesome. And really what we all have to understand is that there might be a few little growing pains, but I'm loving the responsiveness of the team. And so it's been really incredible to see how quickly they're responding. And I know that in very short order, we are going to be so thrilled and dancing about all of the features we have in this back office. Really? So Nikki, thank you so much for being here. Do you want to introduce your fabulous team as well?
Yes, of course. So I don't know how many of you have been around long enough to know either Jason or Sam from customer service, but they've pretty much nailed every skill and responsibility that you could probably have, especially with as it relates to you, the field. So Jason Owen is now our junior developer. We took him and well, actually, he's a pretty self-trained kind of guy. And so he's handling just a myriad aspect of things. And one of it is that we've kind of unofficially named him the spokesperson for doing our demos and tutorials and whatnot. And then you may know Sam. Of course, she came from customer service too. They've both been at Max forever. I've been here 7 years. I don't know. Jason and Sam are at least 10, each of them. And she does a lot of database things, so database reporting, and then she's doing the database support behind the development of your VO. So actually, these two are the ones that know the VO. I know conversationally what's going on, but I deal with things, in the 7 years that I've been there as senior software engineer, I've been dealing with things that are so far in the back end that I've never really had to deal with the VO directly, except over the past year and a half. These are the guys that have been taking years of input from the field, years of reports of difficulties and things that they know to avoid, and things that they know that are going to be the biggest bang for the buck to support, with the exception of what we're getting from the field that's on top of that. So these two really are your guys.
Great, awesome. Well, thank you, Jason and Sam, for being here. And yes, I've known Jason for a long time. He's a go-to guy. He can get anything done. He understands our business very, very well. And I've always heard about Sam and her being such a whiz with reports. So it's really nice to know that we've got two long-term Max experts on our corner to help us get our back office exactly where we want to be. So why don't we launch right in? I think that Jason has a back office. He's going to, let me just make sure that the screen can be shared. Let me just check that. And Mike LeBrun is here with us as well. Mike is my upline, amazing double diamond from Canada, and amazing guys. So Mike is also with us. So welcome, Mike. All right, so Jason, you can share your screen, so you can go right ahead and take us through some of the features. And then our format for tonight is we'll go ahead and have Jason walk us through some of the elements of the virtual office. You'll hear us start to call it the VO, the virtual office. Sometimes we call it the back office, but when we're saying the VO, that's what you should know that it is. It's the virtual office. There are some features that are not yet ready for us. So if you are trying to do enrollments, for example, continue to go to the old VO, which is mymaxoffice.com. mymaxoffice.com. If you are going to the new VO just to explore, look around, see if you can pull some reports, then you go to max.com/login. Now, Jason, when you go to max.com, our regular website, and you click on the login, would you get to this new VO right now?
Yes, you will. It will take you right into the new VO. And
Okay,
then
perfect.
the first banner you'll see, you can click on to go to the old VO directly as well. So it's pretty straightforward.
Great. So just know that for a lot of us who are used to going just to max.com and clicking on the login, it's going to take you to the new VO. So try and work with it, explore it. It will really help you. But if you need to do an enrollment, you can go back to the old VO and do your enrollment there. The other thing that we were finding is that, as Nikki said, and I know most of you may work on a phone for the VO, and not everything displays perfectly, especially on some of the reports on a phone right now. So that's something I know that the development team will be working on, but just be a little bit patient and manage the best you can. And then I think Nikki and Jason and the team will be working on that phone accessibility, because I know that's very important, considering probably about 80 or 90% of our associates in Africa will be using their phones to access the VO. Okay, so Jason, go ahead. Sorry, take us away.
Sounds good. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for having me. We'll just kind of go through a couple of things that we've newly added, and then we'll just open it up for you guys to ask us questions. So a couple of the new reports that we're excited about that we released this week are in your My Team page. So if you go to the My Max tab, My Team, it'll bring up this page. And in the helpful reports right here, if you click on the blue button there, these are all pre-made.
Jason, sorry, can I just stop you just for 1 minute? I want to do two things. Number one, if you could try to be a little bit louder. For some reason, you're not very loud. And then I want to just level set for a minute. How many of you have either been to the back office to look around the new VO, or you were on our last VO training last month? If you could type a 1 into the chat if you have already looked around the new VO, or if you were on our last training, and type a 2 if you have never been to the new VO or have never been to our last training. Okay, so 1 if you've been in the new VO, you've looked around, or you were in our training, and a 2 if you have never been. Okay, so we're getting the majority of ones, which is good. Then it makes sense that Jason is going to some of the things that have been added. Okay, super, fantastic. So some of you are still two, but don't worry, it's very simple. If you go in and you just start looking around, you can't break anything, okay? So you can just start looking around. So that's great. Okay, thank you, everybody. So Jason, maybe just be aware that perhaps about half of the people have never seen the new VO. So as you're showing us things, maybe just indicate how they navigate around would be helpful. And then just if you can try and speak a little bit louder or maybe adjust your headset or whatever you're using, that would be great as well.
Sounds good. How's this for volume? Is that better?
I think it's better, yes.
Okay. And I'll try to really belt it out for you guys.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, it's good. Thank you. It's great.
Okay. All right, so to explain for some of you that may not know, so like I said, under the My Max, My Team page, this page is specific to reporting about your team. On this page, we're hoping that it will be your go-to page for any data, any information that you need about your team. We've really opened this up to provide you with data and information from the beginning of time with Max, since your original enrollment, however long ago that may be, if it was last month or 10 years ago. So that's something we've tried to provide that we did not have in the old virtual office. So as it's been explained about the latency and the speed of loading, keep in mind a lot of that has to do with how much data we really are providing, and those are the things we're trying to clean up and make sure that it's not slowing it down for you too much, and that we're providing that but also keeping the site itself very user friendly and available to you. So we have the date here. You can access, like I said, any date, any year. So we've got all the months there. If you click directly on the month or the year here, and then you can also just use these arrows to just go back and forth 1 month at a time. So two ways: you can just kind of move through each one, or go directly to 3 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever you'd like. So that's a feature there. And then this little blue box that has the lines and the arrow, this is where all of your reports will be. We've got some pre-made reports here that will always be available. They will always show the same information if you click on those for that specific month. So if you just want to see your preferred customers here, you can just click on that report. It will show you all of your preferred customers that you have for November of 2020. Below the helpful reports is My Saved Reports. This section is for any reports you've created yourself and that you have saved in here. And we'll go over that real quick. So through the column settings here, you can add and remove columns as you see fit by just clicking on these boxes or unclicking them. And then by using the filter over here, in this filter, the first thing you'll do is you'll choose your tree type. So you'll always click on that and you'll choose between enroller, binary, and personally enrolled trees to get different information and have access to different filters. So by using the column settings and the active filter, you can build any report with any information you'd like about any of your team members. And then you can click this saved report here button, and that will save that report here for you. You can also download the report by clicking on this button. So you can just download it directly to an Excel file and you'll have access to that. You can share it, you can do whatever you want in an Excel format. So there's two ways there to use that. I highly advise to come in and play around with those settings. That's the best way for you to learn and see what's in there, and really get used to it. So by all means, come in, play with the column settings, play with the active filters, save some reports. You can also delete reports, so don't feel like you can't ever get rid of them if you're just kind of playing around and having fun while you're learning. But definitely do that. And then if you have any questions, reach out to your upline, reach out to us, let us know. We will gladly go over that again. So,
Jason,
yes.
are the columns movable yet? Can you move them around like we can in the old VO, or is that something that's still a feature to come?
It is still a feature to come. So the columns will show up in the order they're basically listed here in this box for now. But that feature is on the docket to have worked on. I can't remember what release we have that set for, but it should be, I want to say, either by the end of this month or the first release of next month. I'll have to double check on that, but it is something we're working on.
Great. And I think it's fine because all you have to do for me anyways is I just remove a lot of columns until the data I want to see is right there. So it's workable. It's not a showstopper. And then Lucy was asking about, do you want to show us any reports here, or do you want to take questions or reports, or do you want to finish to the end? How would you prefer to go?
We can definitely take questions. I don't have to show reports. I was just going to talk about the rank advance and volume history reports real quick, just to say those are the new reports we added this week. So the rank advance is really cool. It shows you who rank advanced in your team from last month. So it's a quick, easy way to see that, so you can reach out to your team members and congratulate them or celebrate them, or whatever you do for your team. So that's, we've kind of made that just nice and easy to access. And then the volume history is exactly like your PV report in the old VO. We've had that requested many times, so we just made it exactly the same and ported it over, and it's available now as well. So feel free to check that out. But that's really all I wanted to just mention. I didn't want to go over too much, so questions are more than welcome.
Can you show the people that maybe have not played around too much? There's Prime Bonus is brand new for all of us, and it's so wonderful. Can you just show us the distinction? So we have the Prime Bonus report here, if you could pull that up. So what this one is for, because I had to play around with it, it's for your personally enrolled. So if you're looking to see what you are going to achieve, then this will give you your own personally enrolled and what Prime Bonus they've achieved for that particular month. Now, the question I had around that is that, are we going, I know it's on the docket, but we're going to be able to, when, for example, let's say the first person on this list, Janet, would we be able to click on her and then pull up the same reports for her eventually, right? I don't think we have it yet, but it's coming, correct?
Yes, that's correct. This same reporting, everything that you have on the My Team page will be available in the snapshot for Janet if you clicked on her. So yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, that's great. So the Prime Bonus under the helpful reports on the right gives you your own personal primes. Then if you want to actually see your primes for the entire team, what you need to do is go to the active filters, and maybe Jason could do that for us.
Yep.
Beautiful. So, you know, the point about these filters, and Jason makes a great point, is that once you have a report, you can then add columns. So the active filters, if it's working well, will actually give us the ability to search for qualified as or qualified for, and then you can choose prime, and then you can go to the column settings and add which Prime Bonus they're qualified for. And that gives you a very beautiful report. So you'll see he's choosing qualified for and then prime bonus. So it now gives you everyone in your team who is qualified for prime bonus this month, not just your personally enrolled. And then if you actually see, this report doesn't give you what prime they are, whether they're 2 or whether they're prime bonus level 1. So then you would have to add the estimated prime bonus level, and that will give you the level that they've qualified for. So now you can see, and what I do, actually one thing, Jason, to note, oh, there it is. Okay, there's a little arrow on the top of the prime bonus level that you can actually sort. So if you have a large team and you want to see, do you have any prime 3s, prime 2s, you can sort it in order so that all your primes are listed together. So this is to me, it makes me so excited when I see it, because we've really been dying for that. Okay, now the binary trees, we have some questions on the binary tree, and I don't know if the binary tree is really working so well yet. Is it, Jason?
It is still a work in progress. We've got it kind of updated and available, so you can see we've kind of got it here, but it's loading really small, so you have to then scroll into it to see. So it's definitely a work in progress, but it is in there. It is working for some of the features. And like I said, we're working hard to get all of the features available on that.
Okay, so it's going to continue to be improved. One thing that that I've noticed that maybe we could look at for a little bit longer term, the fonts really need to be darker. Because in some of these cases, when you're training, or for example, cutting and pasting into a PowerPoint presentation or doing a live back office demonstration on a screen, on a projector, some of these reports are too faint. You can't see the words really. We were doing that the other day. So that's something maybe to think about as we go.
Okay.
Okay, so Victor is asking, can 3 months reports be filtered instantly on a single filter? 3 months reports. Victor, do you mean like month -1, month -2, like that? Or do you mean, can you pull up your primes of 3 months history, which I don't believe you can. But it's relatively easy. Once the speed gets fixed up, it's relatively easy to scroll back and forth, but we don't have that 3-month view anywhere, which I know it would be very useful, especially in the snapshot of the person.
Yeah, we've I know that we've talked about it on our end. We don't quite have a solution for it yet, but we know it's something you guys do desire. So it is definitely something we're talking about. We don't have any real progress or plans for anything quite yet. But like you said, or like you mentioned, we do have the new columns for month -1, month -2. If I can get this to load, it's being extra slow.
One thing for all of us to understand as we're looking at this, all right, what we have to appreciate is that what we're looking for right now is what would stop us from doing our business versus what would be lovely to have, right? So I agree, a 3-month view, especially on a snapshot, because we use it all the time, would be really key. But if we have a workaround for a month or 2 or a few months until we can get a beautiful solution, is not bad. But if we can't enroll someone, that would stop us from doing our business. So we want to be filtering our mindset and our comments around, you know, a nice to have versus I can't do business without it kind of an idea. Okay, so you've got here, so go ahead.
Very good point, Anne. Thank you for that. Yeah, so the month -1, we've got them a little bit more clear as far as rather than just saying the month -1. But you can see here, we've got it showing, so you'll know what month you're adding. So if you want binary tree CV it's December now. This is showing November, and then month -2, it's showing October. So you know what months exactly you're adding. We've got it same for active associates November, active associates October, new and associate enrollment in November, October. So we've got those kind of listed out so they're a little more in your face, a little more clear, what month you're looking at and everything like that. So you can will kind of give you the 3-month view as a workaround, like Ann said, for a few months until we can really get something developed that might be more similar to what's available now in the current virtual office.
Yeah, and it's great. And remember too that pretty soon we'll be able to get all of these reports in somebody's individual snapshot. So that will also help us, because right now what we see is the whole team report. So it's nice to have the views, but we can't really discuss that view with our associate. And normally what most of us will do is we will get into someone's snapshot. We might even screenshot it or take a picture of it and work on it together, you know, when we're speaking to them. So that's really what we would want to have more of the 3-month views for, as well as when we're working with an individual. So this is great. And by the way, there's a comment from someone in the chat to say that the screen is not clear. And part of that is just the font color, where we as a company have had that lovely light font, but sometimes we need to darken it up. So we can work on that. Watch list. I know that's something that's coming. Can you comment on when that is, Jason?
It is in deep development as we speak. We are planning to release that as long as we don't run into any major speed bumps in the next release in a couple of weeks. If we run into any issues, it'll just get pushed back one release. But we are planning to have it in the next big release.
Awesome. Good, yes, excellent. So it's coming, that's fantastic. Someone is asking, can you see who picked your product? That's never been a feature anywhere in our back offices, so I don't expect that we're going to be able to see that. So what they're asking is when a product has been picked out of inventory, will we be able to see who picked it up? But I don't know that that's in the current plan as far as I've seen. Is that correct, Jason?
Yeah, that is definitely not in the current plan. That would definitely be a very post-release want that we could consider looking into. I don't know how possible it would be, but if that's something that is desired in certain countries, maybe we can develop it specifically for that or something. But that would be a long way out.
Great. So one of the things which is new in our virtual office is that when you log in now to your old virtual office, you will see all of your associates. So if you have 1,000 associates in your team, you'll see 1,000 when you do your downline report or organization report. But now when you log in, you might only see 700, because now the VO is only returning what are called active associates, or maybe you could explain the definition of that, because Bill is asking, when will an inactive associate be removed from the binary tree? But I think we would want to know firstly like for example, here we see 237 entries is being returned to us on this associate's back office or virtual office on the team report. So the 237, how do they qualify to be returned? How do they qualify to show up on the team report?
The associates that we're showing right now, the word active and inactive can be a little tricky because we kind of use them for two different things, and we're working with our ops department to try and come up with a more clear way to distinguish between those. But active in the sense of what we're showing on the reporting means any account that can place orders or can earn commissions, any account that can be used today right away at any time by that associate is what we're showing. The inactives he's referring to is maybe an account that's been suspended or requested to be terminated, or it's been so long since they've ordered or earned commissions that their account is in theory inactive, meaning they could not log in and could not do any of those things. So that's
So
the difference there.
that is 1 year. So after a year, an associate cannot currently log in and transact until they do an auto ship. That's how it works right now.
Yep.
Okay? So that's good. So I know you're working on being able to show us our inactives as well, because one thing that does happen quite a bit is that we have someone who maybe hasn't been active and then they want to order, and now they call us to ask for their ID number so that they can start the business again. And so we want to be able to find them. But I don't know that those people ever actually get, even if they haven't been active for 5 years, they never actually get removed from the binary tree, do they?
No, they do not. Nobody is ever removed from the tree.
That's right. Yeah, same as it's always been. It has never changed.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. So, and yeah, we understand that that's very important, because we believe on the corporate side that nobody is truly inactive in Max. They just need to be re-engaged. So we want to provide that information for you for sure.
I love it. Good. Okay. Bernard has a great point. Thank you, Bernard. So is there a way, can we actually see the invoice on the personal volume report? Can we actually see the PV report? Like, how do we check an invoice?
That is a really good suggestion for the report. It's probably something we could add. It's never been discussed.
On someone's snapshot, if you go to someone's snapshot, click on anyone's snapshot, hopefully they've been active. Because right now we can actually click on the PV and that takes us to an invoice. Bernard is saying that on that invoice, it tells us who picked up the product. But I know one of the things that corporate is working on is making all data clickable, because data is not clickable right now.
Right.
So we can't, in today's VO, we can actually click on the order ID and it takes us to an invoice. But in the new VO, we don't yet have that, but we will have the clickable data. And that should lead to the invoice.
Yep. I'm glad you're bringing it up, because yeah, this order ID should be clickable here in the snapshot.
Yes.
If you go to the My Orders page for your personal orders, you can see that, and that's working.
Okay,
so
let's
we
take
just
a look
need to
at
bring
that.
that into the snapshot.
Yeah, let's take a look at that and see, let's pull up an invoice and see if we can see. Oh, that's still the same person as it was before, which were not in their back office, so it shouldn't be that person.
Sorry, are you talking to?
Yes, I am. So if we go, for example, we're in Isaac's back office. So if we go to My Orders for Isaac, can we see what his overview will look like and click into the invoice, to click into the order ID to see if there's an invoice attached?
Yeah, there is. We can definitely do that. Sorry, I reopened the snapshot, so
Okay.
that's why I reopened it, and then I was typing down to make sure that we get that addressed. So
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
it was
Can
kind of a
you-
mix up, but
Okay, so you're doing
yep.
that
So
now.
this is what it'll look like here. So you'll see that order ID.
Okay.
It's blue. You can kind of tell when you go over it. You can click on it,
Okay.
and that will bring up the order itself. So you can just take a quick look at the order, and then the button here, View Invoice, will actually bring up the invoice itself.
Okay.
And Bernard is, I know that if the ambassador you're talking to or whoever picked your order, if they enter it manually, it will show here who picked it up. So that's a manual thing. and that's why sometimes you can see it, but like here, there's no one that, it doesn't say anyone that picked it up specifically
No,
necessarily.
and this one, you see, the orders are defaulted apparently by the first order that they've ever done, which is always 0. So if the orders were sorted the opposite way, so that it was the last order done, then, and which you can do, I believe, in the order history, you can sort them.
Yes.
Then now you would actually see an order that was real, because this is an order of nothing.
Yeah,
It
this
was,
this one's fake. We did just fix the dates. They were kind of a little
yeah,
funky before, and it looks like now we just need to. It looks like we forgot to sort it by. Oh,
the most,
actually, I see what it's doing. It's sorting by the order ID initially, and it needs to be sorting by the order date initially. So we will, yes, we will work to
Yeah.
get that
the most
resolved.
recent.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, that's great. So apparently we can get the same that we get now. So that's fantastic. Okay. Okay, so Igochi, you asked about registering a preferred customer. You got stuck filling the form. I don't believe that enrollments, we should not be using the new VO to do enrollments for customers or associates yet. Okay, we need to wait until the enrollment feature is ready. Is that correct, Jason?
Yeah, from inside the VO, it's not ready yet.
Okay.
If you go through max.com, or your replicated site, the enrollment should be working fine that way, and you shouldn't have issues. But if you want to just go through the old VO to do that for now, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, so what that means is that for customers where you don't have to do any placement, it's possible just to go max.com/your max ID. All right, that would bring you to your own personal Max website, and you can start the enrollment process by clicking on join and just fill in the details of your customer, okay, and make it a preferred customer. But if you want to register an associate, you probably want to place them. That's normally what we teach, and so you may want to do that from the old VO for now. Okay, Nee is asking, can we set the auto ship to be paid for from commissions? I know that feature is either here or coming. Let's see. So we'll go to earnings and balances. So Jason is pulling it up now. Fantastic.
Yes, so the Max wallet is not currently active. We're still working out a few kinks, but it is very close. The tab for that will be right in between these two. The My Earnings and My Max Pay tab here will add in the Max Wallet tab here, where you can do that and set those funds aside from your commissions to save and pay for your auto ship that way.
Great. So what will My Max Pay be? What is that meant to be?
Sorry, this is a feature that we use in the US. It's just a link for the commission section, or the commission site that we use for the US and Canada and some other countries. So this shouldn't be showing for Nigeria.
Okay, so that will be something just to note down for removal then.
Yes.
We used to have Max Pay in Nigeria. Ghana has never had it, but Nigeria did used to have it. So just so it's not confusing. Okay,
Gotcha.
so that's going to be an amazing feature to be able to put part of your earnings into your auto ship. That will be fantastic. Okay, let's see what else.
Jason, what time frame? It's Mike Lebanon. What time frame are you expecting? Somebody just asked me that question. What time frame are you expecting for it to work?
We're hoping that we'll get all the last bugs worked out by this release.
Wow.
Like I said, it's really close. We've actually had it quite close for a couple of weeks. Just these last few bugs have been pretty major issues. So honestly, as soon as we get that worked out, we'll get it live, because it's probably one of my top 3 favorite features, just because I know the ease and accessibility it'll bring to associates worldwide right away. So
beautiful. Okay, Michael is asking, is there a report we can use to show all earnings for the year for tax purposes?
I don't know that we have a report specifically. This My Earnings is probably going to be the best paid place to see that. It's a feature we can possibly look into developing. So we'll jot that down and we'll take a look at that to make it easier to report that. But right now there's not a way to like download a complete report of that yet.
Yeah, it would be good. It's obviously not a critical one compared to some others, but it would be a nice, and that's the beautiful thing we have in working with our own website now, is that if there's a feature that seems like it would be great to have, then it can always be put on the table for development at some point. So that's wonderful.
Yes.
All right,
definitely.
let's see. Okay. Okay, let's see. Any other questions here? All right, so question. Is it possible to have automated systems of payment, just like in the US, where you just enter your card details and order the products?
That is coming for some countries. We plan to expand that for all countries and make that available, but we have some blockers in some countries. So for Ghana, we have something coming pretty soon to give that ability to ordering online. For Nigeria, it's something we are still working hard to get to, but we have some blockers that are causing us to not be able to do that quite yet in Nigeria.
Great, okay, thank you. Lucy, he answered about the watch list. The watch list is coming, okay? He answered it. It will be coming either in December or in early January. Okay, well, thanks, Sam. You answered that. Perfect. Next few weeks. Recorded video of how to navigate the back office. Yes, there will be lots of little videos, right, Jason?
Yes.
Yeah. And definitely, you know, any of us can record a short little video. It's very easy to do that these days, but there will be something coming from the corporate office. You know, the main thing that they're working on, of course, is getting everything working well. And then once it's working well, there's no point yet doing a video when some features are not quite ready yet. So we'll get it working and then definitely get the videos done. Corporate will do them. If there's any missing, it takes any of us, you know, 10 minutes to do a short video, so it's not difficult.
Yes, we do have plans to do videos, and we have plans to do things we're calling tooltips. I was trying to find one. I thought we had one showing as an example, but we'll have little question marks kind of placed around the site that you can hover over, and it will give you a brief description of that and what you're looking for. So we've got a couple things in the works to try and get that, make that a little more clear for you guys.
Great, awesome. Okay, so the videos will come with either subtitles or voiceovers for English, French, and Spanish. Mary Paul is asking, will there be a help button? The help button, I guess, would be for tools and tips, right? Yeah. I don't know that it would be a chat directly to Max.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mary Paul, was that your question, or was it something else? Okay. Then Senior Afosa asks, is it possible to see the commission directly apart from the graph for Ghana VO? You do see the commissions directly apart from the graph. It's underneath the graph. I'm not sure if you've seen that before. Maybe, Jason, you can go to the commission section. So remember, okay, so Michael is asking about the placement. So although you set your placement on the left or the right in your settings, the site is placing people in the wrong leg. Michael, is this from the new VO or the old VO? where are you doing your enrollments and finding that's a bug? Okay, so Jason is just showing us that the commissions are right on the bottom. What you see for November, we don't yet have the real-time commissions there. That's coming, I think, in the next release. So normally what we would expect to see, all of us, as we see it now, is along the month, you would see how your commissions are for the month. And then of course, you know that it will be finalized right before the 15th of the month. But right now we don't have the real-time commissions. So if Jason was to take us back to October, you would see the real-time commissions for October, or you would see the finalized commissions for October rather. So now you can see that the monthly commissions are there and the weekly commissions are there. So if you click into the view details, you'd see similar details as to what you would normally see in the current back office. I hope that answers the question. Okay, so Michael, you're saying when your placement settings are set to left or right, the system is actually not placing your associates on the left or right, they're placing them on the other side. So if that's the case, that is a bug. So Nikki and Jason, where do you want something like that to be sent? Do you want it sent into VO feedback, or do you want it sent into the local office? What's the best thing if there's a bug like that?
Yeah, they can send that to VO feedback still.
Okay, so the email is VO feedback, so VO as in virtual office feedback at max.com. VO feedback at max.com if you find a bug like that, okay?
Hey, can I just add real quick, make sure if it is for the old VO that you specify so we know, kind of which one we're looking at so we can get on that for you.
Right. Yeah, and I would also recommend that if any of you have an issue, all right, with something in the VO, try and review it with an experienced upline first. Sometimes you just want to make sure that you're understanding it well or that it's actually an error. A lot of times associates will come to us, for example, and they'll say, oh, I didn't get paid, something's wrong. Today, for example, I had a conversation with an associate to say, well, did something happen with matching check? And then I had to look, and then I said, well, wait a minute, your pay leg is not new volume 2000, it was carryover, so he wasn't eligible for matching check. So just review any question you have about the back office. I would recommend with an experienced upline to make sure that it is indeed an issue and not just a misunderstanding or an education that you need to be apprised of, so that just the issues can go to the corporate team, because they're, as you can imagine, very, very busy trying to get everything done. So once you've reviewed it with someone experienced, then we can definitely send it in. Okay, great. So Gideon is asking, can the binary tree be compressed as seen in the old VO? Well, we'll look at the binary tree. And while you're bringing that up, okay, so the binary tree is still a work in progress. You see that it's looking very small. I actually looked at my binary tree today, and I don't know how it all got there because there's a lot of people on it. So that you can just expand it, right, as you normally would with any expansion on your phone or on your laptop. So is that as big as it goes, Jason, or can you actually go bigger?
Yeah, this is the biggest it goes.
Okay, it's still pretty big. And then can you click into people, no problem?
Yep, it should just bring it up. So
brings up their snapshot or their overview.
Yep.
Great, awesome. So there'll be more content coming to the snapshot or the overview, so that will be great. So Nee is asking, while we're waiting for the new enrollments ready to be done well, if we sent someone our link, like max.com/our ID, could they enroll? And if our settings were properly done on the outer left or outer right, could they enroll and then go from there? Would it work?
Yep, it should work perfectly fine there. So
great. Okay, perfect. So just remember that right now, of course, that won't be completed with any payment, right? So we'll have to get the payment separately. but yes, it's possible to do that, or it's actually possible for you to do it for them. So if the enrollment is not working from your back office, from the virtual office in the new one, you could actually do the enrollment from max.com/your ID and then join as if you are being the associate who's joining, but you could actually fill it in for them to generate their ID. Okay, so that would also work. Okay, so Dr. PY is also saying there was a similar experience as Michael with the old one, so we might have to check those settings. Volume history accessible in the new VO. Yes, there's a report for it. Jason showed it to us earlier. It's a report under My Team. Okay, so if you look under My Team, is it a helpful report? It is a helpful report, isn't it, Jason?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay, so you can go and you can look at volume history, and that will show you volume history for everyone in your business. But of course, we're used to looking at volume history for each individual person. So these reports that we're seeing, we're going to be able to see these same report capabilities for individuals from their snapshot or from their overview, and that's coming. Okay, great. All right, do we have any other questions? We've come just to pretty close to the top of the hour. And I think the key is just to go in and play around. Okay, like I said, you can't break anything for right now. So Carmen is asking, does the zoom out and zoom in feature of the binary tree work exactly like this on mobile phones?
Yeah, it should. If you, I don't know if you can tell, there's kind of a little area for the binary tree here. There's kind of that line there, and there's a line right here. So make sure that you're inside of that area on the page. But if you do that and you're scrolling it, it should scroll just like anything would on a phone. So if that's not working, please definitely let us know, but it should be. And yeah, as was discussed earlier, we know that on mobile devices, there are a few bugs that we're still working on, and we've got a lot of those listed out and being developed and being cleaned up for you.
Excellent. Lucy's asking if the rank colors will still be the same in the tree. So right now, when we have someone who is a bronze or a silver, they show up in a different, their circle is filled in.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to see that they're a bronze or a silver in our tree, or not really?
I don't recall really seeing that as part of the development, but I agree now that you bring it up that I do remember that. So we will get it listed in there too, to have that similar feature.
I think so. And Dr. Adebayo says it's not bold on mobile phones. You know, it's actually, Dr. Adebayo, it's not bold anywhere. And so that's one of the requests that we've made. I know that might be a big, tall order, but the lettering is, a lot of it is quite faint, which is a max font style, but we really need to be a little bit more dark so that we can easily see the reports, we can easily see the fonts, and especially whether it's on a phone or on a tablet or on a laptop, but also as we're projecting onto a screen for training. So we just need to work on the font coloring. I think it's very, very important. All right. How long realistically before the bugs for the mobile are fixed? It has to be fixed because we need to be able to use the mobile phones. I think that's something you're working on for current releases, right, Jason and Sam?
Yeah, we're pretty much just trying to fit those in as we're working on the bigger issues as well. So we definitely understand the importance of those, and yes, we're just trying to work them in as we can in little spaces here and there. So there's no real good answer for that, but hopefully we'll be able to get those all cleaned up by the next few releases. But it's hard to say right now just because we don't we may not have all the bugs reported to us. It's kind of a learning process on the mobile devices. So we're just trying to work through what we've received and find bugs as we're working through stuff.
Great. Yeah. So let's just try and do as much testing on mobile devices, because really that is the lion's share of our users in many countries. So we'll
Yes.
just try and do as much testing on the mobile devices as we can. Another request that's come up, again, not a critical, but a very nice to have. It would be a great idea on our monthly commissions pages. We have weekly and we have monthly, but if there could be a total earned for October, for example, as a summary, just to even a summary on the bottom, that would be great. Just a minor request, not a deal breaker of any kind.
Okay.
That would be super. All right, great. So, all of you will have lots and lots of questions. Just go in and play, okay? Max.com, and you can go to login, or just max.com/login, and just go in and play around, knowing that there's a few things still to come, but some of the reports are really fantastic. You'll get so much great value. Don't try and do the enrollments yet from your back office. When is the next release scheduled? Do we know?
We have that scheduled for right now for the 21st, I believe, of this month. So
okay, good. So
hopefully
great.
that's pretty solid.
Perfect. So there'll be some more new features. We can all play around with them on Christmas and New Year's and Boxing Day and all the rest. So that's awesome. Thank you very much to Nikki, to Sam, and to Jason for being part of this for all of us. We really, really appreciate it. It's going to help us have more confidence as we're going through, knowing what to expect, knowing that there's a few things here and there they'll be coming. Yes, and Lucy, they told us that there will be the tutorials in English and French, okay, whether it's subtitles or voiceovers, English, French, and Spanish, okay, so they'll all be coming, definitely. Yes, and John, you're right, the vast majority are Android devices, but definitely phones are very, very key, because I would say probably 90% of the users in Africa anyways are phone users for the back office. So, and probably it might be similar in some other countries. So this has been awesome. Thank you so very much, everyone, for being here. This call is on Facebook, so anyone can go and watch the replay if you need to, and just go in, play around, have fun with it, and look forward to an amazing back office experience for all of us that will only continue to get better. Okay, so don't worry, you'll know how to do the enrollments. As soon as they're ready, you'll know. It won't be difficult. It's going to be super easy. And remember, you can do your enrollments right now. Okay, you can do your enrollments right now just by going to max.com/ and add your Max ID. As long as your placements are set under your settings. All right, and Jason, maybe just take us to the settings if you would, to show us how to do that in the new VO. Because most people have never been to settings in the old VO or the new VO. So you just go to your account settings. What I will encourage you to do, once you've done this and you've done an enrollment, immediately, anytime you've done an enrollment, because we heard that a few of you have had some trouble with your settings, you've set it one way and then the enrollment doesn't go that way. So as soon as you've done an enrollment, go in and check to make sure the person is showing up where you expected them to be, because if not, you have 72 hours to do a correction form. Okay, so you can see Jason is in the account settings. You can see there's the ability to change from build left to build right, balance build, which means left and right, the outside pay leg. Oh, the enroller preference, that's kind of interesting. Wonder what happens when you do that.
That's actually a really good question. I don't even know.
I don't know what that would be.
I'll have to play with that myself and see what happens. So
okay, so it happens. But normally someone will either choose balance build or outside pay team, or build left or build right, if you know where you're building. And build left and build right just means it's going to place your new person on the very outermost bottom left or the very outermost bottom right. Okay. And yes, Lucy, this has been recorded. It's on Facebook. All right. So remember that there will be a few things that will change as new release comes and as the team keeps working. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here. It's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about all the new features we get. I use them now every day, and I'm getting more and more used to it. So we'll definitely have lots of trainings and little videos that will help. I even did some screenshots today. So we'll keep doing those things, and it'll be really easy and seamless. So don't worry, have fun with it. Be excited about what's to come. And thank you so much to Jason, to Nikki, and to Sam for being with us on this call. We really, really appreciate you. And we're so glad that you could be part of this training for today. And thanks for everyone for being here as well. All right, we're
Thank
going
you
to
for having
sign
us.
off. Great. All right, have a great night, everyone. I know we have our Nigeria presentation coming up in 30 minutes. So thanks so much. Have an awesome, awesome evening. And thank you to our corporate team for your fantastic, fantastic responsiveness. We really appreciate you as well.
Thanks.
All right, have a great
you all.
night. Bye-bye.